I'm Shawna Lee. This is Infinity Readings, and this is the reading for Gemini for the spring season of 2026. So we're going to get into the cards here. I split the energy into the above and below. So we'll start off with the 3D elemental earth energies that are upon you. And the first card that we have for you, Gemini, is the Three of Pentacles. Yeah, someone here, right? A creative streak. They are putting a lot of work and effort into a creative project. And I get a sense of discovery through this card. It's like, if I put my mind to it, I really can create a masterpiece kind of essence is what I get here. So, yeah, somebody who is, I feel like they're branching out in a creative area and they're surprised at what they can accomplish. And it's because you're expanding and growing in your creative energies. And you know, literally, if you're an artist, you are going to be expanding and changing some of your modes in that way. So this could be someone that is being intuitively inspired to expand, and they're liking what they see and what's coming about here. It's an exploration, an intuitive instinct that has led us to explore, that is also opening up our realm of sight here, and we're happy with what we're seeing. So it's, yeah, very good energy field, I feel, to begin with for the Gemini. So as we move into the next Earth card, we get the Ace of Swords. It's weird because my throat is wanting to close up. And they're going, yes, this has to do with the readings. I've not drunk nothing. I've not eaten anything that could... There's nothing, you know, it just, my throat was good before I sat down for this reading. So, this Ace of Swords is about a truth that needs to be told. And usually when we get the Ace of Swords, it's a truth that is cutting. It's not easy to take, and it can create some havoc, is what they're giving me. They gave me the word havoc. Now, that's going to break up our flow here of creativity, but nonetheless, we'll move forward into the next energy, which usually signifies energy of the future here. We have the Two of Wands. Now, this is about, you know, kind of akin to the Magician card here. It's picking a lane and picking things. The energy they're giving me is we have something in our head that we want to wish for, and we're now going to work in the physical realm to make that happen. We're going to put some effort into making that happen, bringing it from our thought forms into the reality. Okay. Now, yeah, my throat's wanting to close up. So this is interesting. Now, she does have that earth element on her chest, and to many different people, it can mean many different things. And the sense they're giving me is witchcraft. So we got to be careful here what we speak and talk about and how we utilize that energy in that specific way. Now, this is future. I feel like we're going to be dabbling in energies here to, again, manifest, but we got to be careful on that line of energy. Okay, what can be happening here when someone's trying to close off the chakra? It means they want to protect some kind of energy field. And it could be the energy field I'm tapping into. Now, I have ways of going above and beyond that. So I can see above that. But the energy is allowed to come through to make me aware that somebody's trying to block it nonetheless. So this reading might be about that kind of energy field. Somebody doesn't want it to be seen or heard, or they want to do something under the veil of secrecy, and it's just not going to allow it to be accessed in such a way, right? And not only that, we may be surprised at what we gain here through this process. Yeah, and somebody may be doing a spell casting in order to keep this secrecy, okay? And again, it's not conducive to 2026, not going to hold that. The fire element will bring it to the surface and burn it up. So, just to inform you. As we move on to the Three of Pentacles, I had a groovy energy in the past. I feel like we were creating something, but it might be, the sense they're giving me is it might be more on the devious end. taking a moment to look at our masterpiece, but the masterpiece is in the darkness. So let's see if we expand on that energy. Curious creatures brings the Three of Pentacles to the Ace of Swords. Okay, no matter where we go, we are going to see the truth of the matter. So if we go against the grain and into the darkness, it will be in a knowledgeable kind of way. We may want to pretend that we don't know, but we're going to know. So this is needing to be said and heard. Again, we will know the truth. We may be denying it, or we may be pushing it aside, but it will be there nonetheless. As we go forward to the Ace of Swords. Again, I feel like our past energy was good, and we're kind of not in that same realm here as we move forward. Ace of Swords, again, all this truth that is coming to bear. Clarity. We are seeing straight. We are seeing what we need to see here. It may bring us to a point where it irritates and agitates. It may trigger us. This truth may trigger us into a darker sense of who we are. So on the Ace of Swords, what do we get there? The Six of Pentacles, give and take. Okay, so the Six of Pentacles coming in here is talking about charity, giving to others in a welcoming way, like offering up to others. So this is a good energy, right? So this has to do with the truth. I feel like we found out a truth about someone who is giving in a certain kind of a way. In a wholesome way, is what they said. Okay, let's just continue on. As we get into the future here, the Two of Wands again, somebody dipping into the ethers to gain more resources. Okay. On top of that card, we have to expand the Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords, we are air element. Okay, so this is our element. This is our sign. This is us. Now, it could be us sitting and making a decision having to do with all of this truth that has come to the light. Boy. It could also be a truth that we want to keep hidden, and we are going to sacrifice everything to keep that truth hidden. So we got to be aware of that. I have an undercurrent of darkness, even though a lot of these cards aren't inherently dark. It's coming from that Two of Wands, the manipulation of energy. It's coming from there. And the Queen of Swords, she's holding that back from being public, being seen. It's almost like in the dark, in the secret sea of her own life, she's holding things back. Not a judgment. She could be, don't want to be seen as negative, but we are we? What are we doing here? Let's get into the spiritual realm and see what we can pull here. Let's bring out the alien cards. On top of the Ace of Swords, again, I feel like in the past, we may have created something energetically. We may have manipulated energies and brought about something that we were very proud of, okay? Again, we got to be careful with this stuff. There's a truth that come of this, and there was also something we realized that we could do, having to do with manipulation of energies. We attained something here. Greater good, question mark. That's what they're giving me. Is it for the greater good of everyone involved here? Okay, let's tap in. Ace of Swords. On top of that truthful energy, the alien card we get is the Three of Wands. Usually the three is about waiting for ships to come in to harbor, bring about a way of being. Here I get, kind of like, I don't know if it's a confused state, but it's like there's many ways we could take this, like a variety, but on a lower level. And again, I get a secrecy here. We've discovered something in our path here that has brought us some fortune or fortunate things or things that we feel we couldn't attain on our own in the magical spiritual realm, okay? Because of this, it has branched us off into an area we wouldn't have naturally gone without it. Now, there's a lot of people that are meant to see this realm, but again, I get an undercurrent of energy here that's just like on the surface, everything looks good, but underneath there's darker stuff going on. I get that. Gemini, your two ways of being, right? Okay, let's continue into the central energy, which is, again, the Ace of Swords. There's a lot of truths being relayed to you, and I feel like no matter what those truths are, we're going to go in the direction we want to go. Now, we may also have learned some truths about someone who is giving and taking. I feel it's someone outside of us. They're giving from the goodness of their heart. Now, again, are we going to take advantage of that, or are we going to help that person, or are we going to be like that person? Something here about that observation of that energy, because it feels like the goodness out of our heart, that is, we're watching someone do this, and there's no expansion of that energy. So the alien card we get is the Ace of Cups. Okay, so that's from a loving, caring cup. That's from a loving, caring heart. That's from the higher mind of love and care and attention. So that's all good. Right down the center is good. So we're going to go from that from here on in, because it may be that I'm just feeling like someone trying to come out of darkness. That could be as well. Like there was a secretive part of themselves that was in darkness that they maybe are now seeing outside of them more clearly, the black and white of life, and willing to go in areas where we're for the highest good. Now, give me a moment. Giving me. Am I supposed to say that out loud? They're giving me these little alien faces. They're making me think of sperm. Now, just give me a moment. What is this? I don't quite understand, okay? Having to do with, making babies and whatnot. I'm gonna move forward. If they expand on that energy, I'll get it. Have to clear my throat a lot in this reading, so there's stuff here I'm getting the energy for, but I can't connect it to anything. Like when we're talking about creating life and whatnot, that's the beginnings of creating a life. There's a lot of truth that we're learning. I don't know, and there's two aces here. There's three aces, two aces of swords, which is like, again, we're seeing clearly. And then the Ace of Cups, over and above what I'm getting, is about love and care and, wanting to expand that outward. Maybe we want to create a baby, but we may not have a partner. It's kind of the sense I'm getting. Why do they want to stop that? Whenever I talk about making babies, they want to stop that energy from flowing. So that may be you not wanting that to get out, or maybe we have babies out there that we're not talking about, this kind of thing. Something's weird here about that. And there it is again. Like, I've not cleared my throat like this all day. Seriously, like it just is. That's beyond natural. Like I have a raspy throat, but it's not. That's beyond my natural. Beyond my natural state. So there's an emphasis here of information, especially about children or about baby making or about the sexual process of creating children, that wants to be kept undercover. Okay, moving on. The Two of Wands, we want to manifest things, and I think we may even dabble in witchcraft in order to gain that. Like, again, I got a lot of judgment here on that, but you got to be careful when you're in those realms. There's a lot of people in denial about the rules and regulations out there, and I think that they get in too far before they realize the rules. So, Queen of Swords, she does have her eyes closed in this card, but in particular, she is creating a barrier. Now, it could be a barrier of, messing around with any of this this stuff, because the word manipulation came up and now it doesn't want to come up no more. And again, I don't know if that's our energy trying to establish that we're not manipulative, or trying to hide the fact we're manipulating energies or whatnot. But the energy that wants to happen now is a stoppage. And it may be that we have manipulated energies in the past, got things that we wanted, and lost our abilities in the process because we were going about it in the wrong way. So we may have had some psychic gifts or intuitive realms here we had access to that are now shut down. We may be trying to open them back up again, but the suggestion here, another cut to clear my throat. The suggestion here would be to just stay out of the field for a period of time and naturally allow that flow of energy back in. If you straighten up and fly right, you will gain access back to your abilities. If you do not and you continue to be destructive in the ways of manipulating energy against others, we will be highly chastised for this, and this may be the path coming clean here. This may be what we may be in denial of, as my throat starts again. The Queen of Swords on top of that energy. What do we get? The Tower card. Yeah, super clear. Now, what's going on here is we'll get rid of the throat problems. Somebody is trying to hide their life completely. They're the Gemini, and they would have a gifted ability to be seen as two ways. They would have a high ability to hide one side of themselves because that is in their nature, to be and handle multiple things in multiple ways to multiple people, to look this way to this person and that way to another. So this is very natural flow for them to get into. Unfortunately, it's the wrong flow for the higher realms of light and love and care. What we're doing is we're getting into the lower realms of manipulation of energetic forces here. The Tower here is immaculate, but it is still a tower, and it is still something that needs to be dealt with. The problem here is that the Gemini on the forefront, like in the full-on view of their life, they look like everything is okay. But really, spiritually, they're starting to break down. And again, we've lost our abilities. If we had any, we've lost them. We understand we've lost them. We may even be pretending that we still have them, but they're gone. Okay? Now, past that realm, there is going to be more consequences coming because we are not grounding out in our reality. And our reality is we need to humble ourselves. We're not humbling. We're pretending to be something that we are losing the ability to be any longer. Because we are manipulating energies, yeah, this is what it is. The bottom line. It doesn't have, I don't even have to go into areas of who, where, what, when. It has to do with love, has to do with children, and it has to do with partnerships. Okay, I'll just leave it at that. Yeah, there was an offshoot that we took here. We got muddied up in the waters, and we're really trying to flow. Yeah, another one. It's like the toad hanging onto the throat of the thing, saying, "I will not give up." But unfortunately, the giving up that needs to happen is to give up the darkness, and we're trying to convince ourselves the darkness is the light, and it's all this big, wonderful flow of manipulation that is really coming back upon ourselves. Yeah, so the Tower's here from the higher up, so they will send you into a few tailspins here, and if we continue to hang on to the darkness, we will be exposed to a degree that we will just continue to get harsher and harsher consequences for this energy field that we keep hanging on till the end kind of thing. Now, let's clarify again from the above cards. Another thing they want to make mention of here through this Ace of Cups, they're going, this energy field of that sperm and creative energy and again, a creation spark coming out in the form of a human, that could be okay, because the sense they're giving me is there is a soul upstairs, okay, if you will. There's a soul waiting to come down into the physical 3D earth. All this manipulative energy that we've got ourselves wrapped up in is actually distracting us from bringing this soul down, and this soul is pivotal to our way forward and a partner's way forward, and it's not just us. it revolves around. It revolves around a soul family and grouping. So we could actually be contributing to the downfall of a soul grouping, not just ourselves. And we're not thinking in that frame. We're thinking just by selfishly. So there could be a downfall of a bunch of souls that go down for results of behavior that we did. Because they're showing me all these energies wanting to come down, and they have to come down through the Gemini, and they can't get through because the Gemini is distracted with other things, and they're not going in the proper manner, and they're getting to a point where they just won't be allowed to after a certain degree here. And the Tower's coming if we continue down this road of negative energy fields. Now, again, we don't perceive it as negative. We perceive it. We're manipulating our energy field to ourself even. We're taking the energy. We've had results. We're manipulating it to think that people think we're doing the right thing when we're actually doing wrong and harm against others. That karma is coming back in the future here. And the sense they're giving me with that Queen of Swords is, even though we may decide in the interim, you know what, I'm done. I'm not going to mess around with this energy no more. We may see some truths. Our life may bring us some people to tell us and warn us. We may stop it. It may be too late for our karmic cycle to release. Meaning, we've already done the damage, so we just still have to pay the price, even if we stop in the interim. This is what I'm getting. And not only that, there's a line of consequences here having to do with an energy that's supposed to come in through another partner, because they're showing me the Gemini and another partner that is now gone. Because of the manipulation of the energy, it has released that partner. And that partner and us were supposed to create a life that now will not be here. And it creates an energy field. It was a very important vibrational frequency that needed to be here. It's no longer here. So now there's a big disruption in the field. And the Tower is we're going to understand this on all levels. And we are starting to, but we haven't changed our behavior yet. But by the time we change our behavior, it's too late. Now, carrying on. For somebody, that's heavy. 3 of Wands. On top of that extra path, I feel like the 2 of Wands is picking a lane, right? And I feel like the 3 is the option of going off the rails, and we took that. And we didn't understand the heaviness of it. So on top of that 3 of Wands, the Metatron card we get is complex circle. Complete circle. Yeah. The throat is just wanting to close right up. So somebody's really, really putting on a facade is really what I get. Now, this complex circle, it is, you could be spinning in circles. You could have had a lot of cycles circling in your field. I don't think we learned from them. I think we just continued to throw them aside and go forward in we thought we were right, and that's it. And don't matter if I keep repeating, I'm not going to listen to anybody or anything. It's just something other than, and it's the upside down world that we're listening to. So we're going to get it all wrong. Because of this, there's hard edges here. Like there's points of light that want to break you apart from this cycle that you're in. But we're not allowing it. We're forming that. We keep reforming that circle and repairing those break points. We don't understand the whole bigger picture here at all, because we're just really looking at the self, and that's it. And we're not looking to anybody else outside of us for answers or for even allowing that energy in. We do not. So it could be an ego self kind of way where we're really distorted. Now, we do know the truth. We may not accept it. We may reject it. And we may think that the truth is different, but we do know it. The knowledge is there. We're not utilizing it. Okay. 6 of Pentacles. There's somebody outside of us that we realize may have been for our highest good, but we may not have seen it, but now we're seeing it. And this is the 6 of Pentacles is really someone who's going outward. And I feel it's very much an energy outside of us that we're looking at this person. And I don't feel energy going in or energy going out. It's just something we're noticing. There's someone here that is giving in a thoughtful way toward others. Okay. That's it. And then next card is the Ace of Cups. And there's all this etheric energy about, lives that are supposed to come into the universe. We are no longer on the path to attract those people in anymore. One, we've lost our partner to create that with, and that is not coming back. And two, we may have lost the love center altogether here. Now, on top of that Ace of Cups, what do we get from Metatron? Complex triangle, yeah. Our core values are being fragmented. We are manipulating things to be right when they're not right. We're, how would you say, convincing ourselves of this. Yeah, these arrows and going, it's like cutting. We're cutting through all the laws of the universe. We're trying to cut through. You don't cut through. You just get consequences. Again, this is something we got to learn. And we will learn it as the tower falls. That's the consequence. And we don't realize it can come in the ways that it comes in. Man, these are heavy readings. But it's a denial here to listen. It's putting ourselves above God, really, and not being able to humble ourselves and take direction from any one person. It's like, no, I rule and what I say goes and da-da-da. And again, we're not going to realize the consequence of our actions until we are much farther down the road. It's just the way our thought process is going. And we've actually cut off a lot of energy for soul family connections. All of this stuff, it's all being dismantled. So there will be in the future a sense of loneliness to a degree we've never felt. Oy, I don't like delivering that. But as we move into the future, the tower energy, that is the shocking event that may come to pass in order to get you on the right path. We are not open to that whatsoever. Is the sense. Now, what's the Metatron card on that? Star of David, glory and perseverance. There may be a path here. Because again, when the universe lays a card, it's the most perfect card they're going to lay. And it will, like, if you think there's no way to get through to this person, the universe will figure out a way. And this is what it is here, the Star of David. And what do you know? We start with a star on our chest. And the sense they're giving me is no matter what you believe in, whatever core of who you are, where you're coming from, negative or positive, there's always a higher power above that is ruling the show here. Now, watch how I say that with the politics and stuff going on, with the religion and everything. The bottom line is we need to be humble enough to accept direction at some point in our lives. We can't run around like we're the king of everything when this doesn't allow for growth. It doesn't allow for compassion, and it doesn't allow for human compatibility. It's like you do and I'm separate from you, and it dismantles everything they want you to learn and grow from. So there's going to be some kind of a tower. There's going to be a moment, a shocking, sudden event that's going to awaken you to this. And then we will start fresh from that point forward. Glory and perseverance. Again, there are things here that are unchanged. Like we have already drawn a line with the Queen of Swords, but unfortunately we don't understand what that means, and we won't until the future hits us. Okay, so mentally we're on a certain track that I feel is like unhinged and unchanged, but we also not in realization of the consequences that are going to hit down the road. I don't know how else to say it. I mean, I keep repeating it, and it's like they don't understand. So, as we end this here, the Star of David does give some hope. It tells me that this soul will persevere, but it will be a strong striking of energy that will straighten them out of this. Shocking as well. But it will be from the higher realms of glory that we get out of this mess that we've made for ourselves. The astrological tarot here to shut things down for the last reading of the spring equinox season. And that in itself is a cutting off of energy, right? It's the winter ends and the spring is going to begin, and there's a huge shift. And I know with what I sense, there's a speeding up of energy. So this is all in the mix of all of this stuff, right? So we have the moon card. Wow. Yeah. And there's a lot of things we don't see. And there's a lot of things we think are a certain way. They're actually not. And that's the moon energy. Now I'm going to read from the book here. And we'll figure out what they want to say through this card to the Gemini. It's very harsh energy here. Somebody that's going to have to get themselves out of the darkness, but they don't even know they're in it. So that's even harder, right? If we don't know we're in darkness, how do we get out of it? Because there's no want to do that. That's what I get here. So the key words that we get for the moon: emotions, intuition, mystery, illusions, compromise, adaptability, and relationship. A lot of energy dumped on emotions, intuition, and illusions. Yeah, I feel like we're going to be struck emotionally, meaning we're going to feel. Even if we don't want to feel, even if we reject feelings, we're going to feel. We have felt through our intuition, but we're utilizing, we're like trying to, what's the word? When you change energy, we're trying to manipulate that energy and not thinking there's any, like, again, we have a belief system that makes us believe that the manipulation of that energy, we're not going to have a consequence for that. Like we can do that and nothing will happen but good for us. But again, sometimes what's good for us is not good for the greater good. And this is kind of the sense I'm getting. And again, we're not going to see that for a while here. But anyway, the moon card appears in a traditional tarot where it is an uneasy card. That's the energy that I get here, is uneasy. But the Gemini, they're feeling easy breezy. They're all good. But the uneasiness is the knowledge from above. It's like we're stepping on toes here and we're doing it to such a degree we can't backtrack. But again, never say can't. But this thing is there's a cutoff. And, the Gemini is going to come across it, is the sense here. Now, man, oh man. Traditional tarot is an uneasy card, symbols of deception and illusion. And I feel like we're behind the deception. While the illusory quality can remain here, an emotional side is more connected with this particular card. It's not a negative card at all, but it shows that one's emotions and intuition are being highlighted. I think they have been highlighted. I think they've been sidestepped as well in order for us to get things the way we want it, not the way the highest good wants it, right? So I do feel a negativity here, even though they're saying there's no negativity, right? You may have a gut feeling about the situation and are now being counseled to listen to it. I do feel that highly. I feel like we've had a gut feeling all along. We've disregarded that, done what we needed to do, created karma, really is what it is. And after that, we start to feel guilty and pain, and again, emotions. So then we may cut ourselves off from it. But again, it's not too soon before we have a consequence for that. I mean, it's good that we create a barrier and decide, okay, I'm no longer going to do this manipulative stuff. It's not worth it. That is great and wonderful. But the karma's already been put in. That energy's already been put into the universal flow. It's already gone out the other end. There's a price that needs to be paid. You ate the burger, now you got to pay for the burger. This is what I'm going on. Like, we ate the burger and we're trying to run out the door without paying. No, it's not going to happen. The alarm bells are going off. That's the tower, right? Okay, you may have a gut feeling about this situation and now being counseled to listen to it. The moon features in many magical practices as a symbol for the goddess. This mysterious aspect of the heavenly body is one you should bear in mind when it comes up in a reading. You may have the tools to make for a magical turn of events, but you should use your power wisely to ensure that you do not behave in a way that disenfranchises anybody else. And this is what the law they broke. This is the exact law they broke. You disenfranchised a bunch of other people, and now that's got to be rectified. This card indicates that good relationships are possible if one works towards them and is willing to adapt and compromise. In the past, I see none of this. There's no willingness. In the future, if we can do this, we can turn this around. It's also a great card for anything to do with women or feminine energy. If you are a feminine yourself, you may have a smoother, easier time of going through this energy, of flipping gears and flowing in the right proper manner. But again, not without consequences for energy we already put forth in the improper way. We still got to pay that bill. That bill still has to be paid, no matter. Yeah. So there is glory, because I feel more for a feminine. If a masculine's in this energy, it's going to be really hard and raw. I feel that. And for a feminine, I feel like our life in the future is going to get, how do I say this without turning a person off? Because you want to give them hope for the future. There is hope for this future of this Gemini, no matter masculine or feminine. But the karma balances things out, and it's coming in your very near future, within the next month or two. And this karmic repercussion for what we have already done, if we allow this incident to take us down, we will go down. If we take it in stride and say, you know what, I did this, I'm responsible for that, I deserve this, now I need to pull my bootstraps up and move on, we will continue to do so. But down the road, there are still essence waves of stuff that are going to hit us in realization of what we've created here. It's a bigger ball of mess than we initially gave credit for, is the sense they're giving me. And it has something to do with a life partner that we either kicked to the curb or manipulated things, or and for some females, just give me a minute here. It's a masculine feminine split, but not too, like I said, feminine can work their way out of it. They're still going to feel the weight of it. It's going to be stretched over a longer period of time. A masculine, yeah, there's a higher link here for the masculine having to do with pregnancies and birth. I know the masculine doesn't give pregnancy, but there's something to do with a life partner we're supposed to have a pregnancy with that we don't. And that creates a shock wave in the tunnels of time here that we don't understand. That soul was supposed to be on the earth plane. It's not. And there's no way that it can come on the earth plane now. And that is a big stressor for the above. That's what I'm getting. There's a lot of weird stuff in these readings this session. Whew. But that's the scenario for that masculine. For the feminine, it's the same thing. We've lost a partner, for however the circumstances. We're supposed to create a life here. Not going to be created. Oh. Okay, so for the feminine, listen to this. They can garner a partner on the other end and that soul can come through, but for the masculine, it can't. But only if they turn their core frequency around and are for the highest good of all involved. They can turn it around. The female has the power to do that because they have the creative energy. It can come through it can portal through the feminine through a different partner. The vibration will be a little disrupted, but it'll still fulfill the prophecy, if you will, if I could say it that way. It will still fulfill. It won't be the initial, but we can translate that. But with a masculine in this energy, we can't. It's just not there. And then it's more destructive more quickly. The feminine is more destructive over time. Okay? But there is a possibility we still bring a core frequency of that energy of that soul that's supposed to come in while We can still bring a majority of that in. Now, they want me to explain to you how, like when we're talking about a soul frequency that comes in, reincarnation, if you believe in that, all of this stuff, to explain the pool, the bigger pool. Like if you want to look at this Ace of Cups card, let's look at the Ace of Cups card and revolve the reincarnation cycle around this. So let's say God is this cup, or the higher power, the higher realms, or where everything begins, right? Is this cup of energy. And there is an overseer of this cup of energy, and that overseer wants this, this energy to come through, these little dudes to come through and into the physical plane, okay? There's a purpose here, a life purpose and a timing having to do with that. So when we on the physical plane reject that, or reject the frequency, like the partner that was supposed to connect with to gain this, okay, let's go with the masculine. If we reject a partner we were supposed to create a life with, that was going to create a shock wave on the earth that's very profound, then suddenly these souls got to wait a little longer for things to happen. And in fact, that masculine may not get the opportunity to create this life. Yeah, because there's something about this child being born with this, between these partnerships, that creates a legacy through that child. I don't know what, but anyway, it's like these two people get together, they have that child, and it creates a third energy that is just huge. So I don't know if the child is just a profound energy that creates great change in the world for the greater good, or something like this, and then elevates the two souls above it, meaning the mother and the father, the parents, or whatever, mother, father. But this is a mother and father that I'm picking up on. So we refuse that cycle altogether. So that soul starts to disintegrate, and their legacy starts to crumble because they've rejected the greater side of things. Now, if we go to the feminine, she's rejected a partner, and that was the one that was supposed to be initially. Now, because there's a certain amount from the father and a certain amount from the mother that creates this perfect energy. And what they're showing me is we still can get, okay, if a soul comes in, okay, that's all-seeing eye there, it plucks a big cup of water and it douses, that's your character, and you go in, and that's your purpose, your meaning, your whatever. All of that stuff gets drained into you, and in you funnel through the birth, and away you go, and that's what you get energized with. Now, if this partner is a different partner, and we choose that new partner, there's still a certain amount of that vibration that can go through. It's not going to be a full cup, but it'll be half a cup. So the shock wave will be less. It'll be a little bit, but it still elevates those two souls, not to the highest degree that it would have with the initial two partners, but it's still allowance to go through. And instead of 50% of the soul being energized, it's like 25% of the soul is being energized. So we still can get a lot of that energy to flow through there. Wow, this is different stuff. That's what they're showing me. So with the masculine, it doesn't come through. For him, he gets excluded. The feminine, she can still retain that energy if she flips gears and works for the positive. If she works to clean her energy field up, her vibrational frequency, and goes in the right direction and listens to the right, not the devil on her shoulder, but the angel on her shoulder. If she goes in that way and she corrects herself with a partner that is also in this way, they can still revive that 25% of, get half of that energy flux from that. And that is, it's like these souls are coming to earth to help increase the vibrational flow. And this was one of them. And Now, for that masculine, there's going to be a destructive phase that they're going to go through or have gone through, and are still adapting to. But the thing is, the more they adapt, they're just not going to be able to right themselves, is the sense. The feminine still can if she desires to, and if we can get through to her on that level. Again, there's a Tower card that's going to fall in the future here, and this is perfect alignment, meaning it's from the highest high that because they see everything you do, everything you think, everything you feel, they've got it in their database. People on the earth plane, they don't know everything you think, everything you feel. Even if you're psychic, there's a lot that can be held back. There's a lot that can be seen through as well, because there is a high ability for this person to want to hide that part of their life. No longer can we do this. And again, my throat's fine now. I haven't had a coughing fit since I dumped what I needed to dump here. There are illusions bound, and this is a tight one. This is hard. Yeah. I can't change what I get. This is what I get. I have to spit it out. And I'm told that, as crazy as it sounds, you got to start giving these people the information they need to hear, because it's kind of like pussyfooting up to now. So these readings are going to get pretty dark, pretty weird, pretty in-depth, and like, again, blowing my mind, because it's like, this is all off the rails, but that's where we're at. The universe is off the rails. You know what I mean? Not the universe, but the world is off the rails. And people need to understand what they've done and consequences. And again, we got to bear down, because there's a Tower coming for the Gemini. And this is the last of the readings. I think intuitively we do know we have all the details. We're just unwilling to look at it because it makes everything about us wrong. And we don't want to be wrong. And unfortunately, that may keep us from a better future if we don't bow down here at some point. But anyway, the Moon is the last card. That is your reading for the Easter season. Take care, have fun, and be kind, and we will talk to you soon.